Welcome to the Raw Africa podcast. We have made it to the final four, and wow, what a tournament we have. And I guess for once we can say we got the four best teams left. I don't think for once, but to be honest, yeah, we got the four best teams. One of the teams is a surprise to me personally. However, all the themes are deserving that are here. But if you don't know who I am your host, Raphael, aka Ronin Rafa. Please hit the like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave your comments. I'd like to hear from you. So, yes, we are the final four. We got four teams that have all won AFCON. We have the most successful AFCON team ever. We have a one-time champion. We have the team that has gotten to the most finals and lost the most. And we have the team that's currently the strongest team on the continent in terms of performance. However, the media love doesn't seem to be there. But whenever you play them, you're going to be like, woo, they're going to whoop you. So, with that being said, let's dive into the two semifinal games. And the way this tournament has worked, by the luck of the draw, the two strongest, I would say the two best performers are facing each other in one semifinal. And it's no discredit to the other semifinal, but that's how tournaments work. So, first semifinal, the Teranga Lions versus the Pharaohs of Egypt. Now, if you are new to African football, you might not be aware that this was the final from two AFCONs ago, and that coincided with the rise of the Teranga Lions. But we have to go a few years back when Teranga Lions made their World Cup debut. That was technically the official rise of Teranga Lions of Senegal, which was 2002. And that team made a final of the AFCON the same year in Mali, but never won. And then 2019, they made the final again. They did not win. They lost to Algeria. But you had the feeling that it was just a matter of time that they were going to win. And they delivered in 2021 when they finally won. Unfortunately for Egypt, it was Senegal that they lost to in 2021. And that was Mo Salah, who, it backfired for, he faced his good friend on the other side, his former teammate, Sadio Mane. And up till that final, Egypt were the Argentina slash Germany of Africa, in that if you can't beat them in regulation, just forget about it. You better get that win in extra time. Otherwise, if it ends in penalties, it's over. And I recall in that tournament, Egypt did, was it the semifinal or quarterfinals? I think they did it in both semifinal and quarterfinals. There was an injury and they brought in Gabor as a substitute their backup goalkeeper. And they always have a great goalkeeper. Egypt has always had great goalkeepers. Even right now, they have their backup is just, if not even better, according to Egyptian media. And I've seen him play. He's the backup goalkeeper for El Akli, the most successful African team. And he's better than many starting goalkeepers for other African teams. And he's quite young. And Gabor comes in the 2019 tournament for the penalty shootout, and he's good and goes on until Senegal in the final. and Egypt loses to Senegal in that final. And then for the 2022 World Cup, Egypt and Senegal are drawn together for the final round of playoffs, and they both cancel each other out, and it goes into penalties, and Senegal wins again. It just seemed like Senegal had Egypt's number back then. Why am I bringing that up? This tournament, Senegal has been the team that no matter who they face, no matter how that team plays, they bring their A game. Once they, Senegal just takes it to the next level, like I've always said. You play your best, Senegal just ups it. Once they go one step higher, and I love seeing that because I want that for the World Cup playing teams. However, Egypt, on the other hand, it doesn't matter how well you play. Egypt also has its own way of doing its own thing. Against Zimbabwe, Egypt came back from a goal down. Against South Africa, Egypt were the better side with 10 men. Egypt just seems to have its own thing going on. Consider last minute goal against Benin in the round of 16, the extra time, maybe Benin thought they could drag it to penalty shootout, which is not a good idea against Egypt. Only Senegal seems to have that luck against Egypt, and Egypt still pow tore them apart in the extra time. This is a balanced game. It's a game that uh Mo Salah seems to be like this is his last AFCON. It probably is, or it might be, but it's his best chance to win the AFCON to fulfill that legacy. There's for him to be to fulfill the greatness, to complete the greatness of being an Egyptian great. There are lots of great Egyptian players, including the current coach of the Egyptian national team, Hossam Hassan, who's I'm lucky to have watched him play. I think Mo Salah is better. Abu Trika is my personal favorite from Egypt, but they all got AFCONs. Mo Salah doesn't. He's taking them to the final, and it's not like he did anything personally wrong in not winning an AFCON. He might end up being a Drogba, Didier Drogba, without an AFCON because it's mad competitive. It's not like Euros. It's not like Gold Cup. It's not like South Copa Libertadores. Those tournaments they don't have as much competition as the AFCON. So I wouldn't be surprised. I think Egypt will take this one. I have a feeling that this revenge, it's been coming. It's been coming twice. Senegal has beaten Egypt using the tools that Egypt normally wins with. I wouldn't. I think it's just it's ripe for Egypt to get that win this time. And it's not that Senegal did anything wrong or Senegal will play bad, even though I don't trust certain people in the media, the way they've been twisting certain things, they might say, and don't be surprised if Egypt outplays Senegal. Senegal will have possession, but don't be surprised if Egypt outplays Senegal because Egypt can play possession, Egypt can play without possession. That's the strength of this Egyptian team under Hossam Hassan. He has all his attackers buying into his philosophy, so he can all his attackers can defend. You saw Emma Shaw being drafted in the last game, and Emma Shaw drops back. If he starts Trezeguet drops back. Mamouche drops back. Bo Salah drops back. That's why it's nonsense when what all they say in England, oh, he's not. I'm like, you don't know how to use him. But for Hossam Hassan, he has all Egyptian attackers. He plays four attackers, and all of them drop back. They walk. It's the same on the Senegal side too. They all walk for the team. But it's just, I don't know. I just have this feeling that the Pharaohs are on a mission and they're going to the final. Not discounting the Teranga Lions, they've been the best performance performers in this tournament. Why do I keep messing up that word, performers? So it's gonna be it's gonna be a good final, semi-final. Why am I saying final? It's definitely it's a final before the final. Looking forward to this game, and we would love it. It's a great time. So, um, do I take the risk of? Do I want to risk it predicting the scoreline? I don't. I mean, I got one of the scorelines for I got the scoreline for Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, which I called 3-2 in my short form video. Um, and that what a game that was! What a game! I said that was going to be the game of the quarterfinals, and it turned out to be the game. Uh, but nah, I can't. I can't. So yeah, I think it will be a tight score. Yeah, I'm not gonna take. Nah, I'm not gonna predict the scoreline, but I see Egypt. I believe Egypt will win. I wouldn't be surprised if Egypt wins. I'll put it that way. Second semifinal. This one has everything in it. It'll be more emotional. There'll be a lot of emotional drama. A lot of people will do their twist online and all that nonsense. Um, let's start. Let's touch the quarterfinal first. So both teams had the same scoreline in their quarterfinal games. Um, Morocco did a solid job on Cameroon. Cameroon's young guns, their indomitable lions, their naivety showed. Unlike was 2017, they couldn't, they didn't have that. The lack of experience really told at this stage. You know, it was different this time. 2017, when they brought young kids, younger lads to the tournament, and it worked. There was less pressure. They could go through. But this time, I think more people were like, "Nah, we've seen you guys in the group stage. Yeah, we're not taking you for granted." And Morocco did what Morocco really took to put that the way Morocco started. That is how you're supposed to take teams. Like you don't let them settle into the game, and that amount of pressure Morocco was putting them under. That's how you treat a younger team. So that was very good what Morocco did. Nigeria against Algeria has been in the news, unfortunately, not for the right reasons. But we must acknowledge Eric Shell. He's been the best performer when it comes to coaches of this tournament. I did not expect them to be in the semifinal. I had quarterfinal as my uh, as the best performance from this Super Eagles. It's still not the best. I see there's a lot of cracks that are papered over. That's why I respect Eric Shell. There's this hot take going out now that, oh, you know what, Nigeria should have been in the World Cup. I'm sad Nigeria's not. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not. But it speaks to the volume, the work that Eric Shell has put in, that he's able to make this team look like 5 star. And the sad thing for me is that, especially when I don't really care about people who are not Africans or who don't follow African football, who only just come in when it's convenient. I don't really care about those people. So I don't even listen to their opinions. But it's those who are supposed to be Africans, who are supposed to be African sporting media representatives. They are the ones who piss me off the most. The main lesson here is allow your coaches to cook, especially indigenous coaches. Eric Shell did not qualify Nigeria for the World Cup. That was his number one priority. And he was left in charge. So it was okay to fail. That's the biggest lesson here. Let the man cook. Let's see what he can do. And he's been doing a solid job so far with a team that, in my opinion, is still not there. The luck of the draw has given Nigeria teams that, for some reason, they're not for some reason, they're not the best teams to test this Nigerian squad. And he's done what a good coach should do. You beat them, you beat the hell out of them, and keep moving. You don't. Oh, okay. They don't want to beat me, so I will just collect me. No, no, no. You beat them, and then let people start praising you. Then go on, because the European coaches have been benefiting from this for a long time. Look how everybody was tearing into Morocco's coach. Oh, Morocco didn't win convincingly, so that's why Morocco is not considered a favorite right now, which is nonsense, absolute rubbish. Nigeria hasn't played better than Senegal in this tournament. They haven't. They haven't. Senegal has faced teams that just block everywhere, completely block everywhere. And Senegal can be patient and say, okay, we'll, and then they pass. And you see them literally open up lanes, and it's so beautiful. But it's weird how people who claim to love this type of play say, nah, it's Nigeria will prefer. And I'm like, huh, okay. So you can see the bias in coverage, which is fine, but just admit it. But the whole point I go back to is that allow indigenous coaches the time and pay them. Pay them. This nonsense of 2 days before Algeria game, oh, now we're paying bonus. I'm like, okay, that is not an eggshell. I know that whatever Nigeria happens, if Nigeria loses to Morocco, it's not on Eric Shell. Doesn't matter. It does nothing matters. He has already overachieved at this tournament. Allow the man to cook. Support your indigenous coaches. It's tiring. It's beyond tiring how we are always eager to tell. Look at what is happening in Tunisia right now. Sami Trabelsi is literally gone. Oh, he made one error. Oh, you got to fire him. Oh, tear him out, kick him out. That man went 10 games without conceding a goal. World Cup qualifying. And there were some things behind the scenes. I'm not gonna get into them for AFCON, and then it's like, oh, he's not good. Now go bring a guy from Europe. Okay. Hopefully that guy from Europe, and you pay the guy way more than you were paying Sami Trabelsi. That's the thing that always baffles me. But of course, there's some big fight going on. Oh, no. It has to be a Tunisian, not a guy from Europe. And they have great Tunisian coaches available right now, but you don't want to pay them. So Eric Shell and other indigenous coaches are fantastic. And by the way, and Eric Shell is the type of coach a Tunisia needs. You know, the type, and it doesn't have to be an Eric Shell, but you should be going after him. If you say you don't want Sami Trabelsi, then go get an Eric Shell. But allow them to do their job. I'm tired of African federations just, okay, well, when a European comes in, then we allow them, we pay them $100,000. The $100,000 magically comes out from somewhere. But when it's an African, oh man, we can barely pay you 17,000. Look how much you're paying Hossam Hassan for Egypt, 17,000. Meanwhile, every 2 minutes you want to fire him. Every 2 minutes, I don't know if he's good enough to coach a team. Meanwhile, look how he's performing with Egypt. Gregory, oh, we should fire him every 2 minutes. Oh, we should fire him. The amount of pressure that he's under, there's no European who can last under that pressure. Eric Shell, I remember when he was appointed, Nigerians were screaming, why do we have a Malian? Mali hasn't gone anywhere. They haven't won anything. Why do we have a Malian? Meanwhile, his Mali played far superior to the Mali at this tournament, that people still love the Mali at this tournament more than his Mali. Malian journalists were telling him, resign immediately, resign. Now everybody has revised how they're talking. Of course, it's different. And I'm like, I know all that. I remember all this. I recall all this, the bias. It's weird how we treat indigenous coaches. Very weird. Check your bias, people. Check it out. It's sad. So, congratulations to Eric Shell. Um, I don't believe Nigeria will beat Morocco because Morocco is not going to sit back like Algeria. They're not going to sit back like Tunisia. Morocco, the same way they came out at Cameroon, they will do that to Nigeria. And no team has done that to Nigeria in this tournament. And we've not seen this Nigerian squad react to a team putting them under pressure. World Cup qualifying, any team did that to them, goals conceded. This Nigerian team, the good thing going for them is you have Victor Osimhen. In fact, it's not Victor Osimhen, to be honest. Victor Osimhen is world class. He has that. Victor Osimhen has something that on the African continent is Budenija, Victor Osimhen, they're like the strikers who they know how to get on that defender's nerves. They come after you, they just go. But then Ija is much older. So Victor Osimhen is the new generation. But there's times people use this respectability politics on Victor Osimhen. And he does some things that he shouldn't do once in a while. But he's great at what he does, which is harass defenders, which is great. Them Diego Costas. Whose name am I forgetting? There's some other Suarez, who all people, oh, 2010 Suarez. Shut up. That's nonsense. Get out, get over it. You should have won the match. If you didn't want to win the match, Suarez did the right thing. But these guys keep coming and coming and coming at defenders, and they harass the hell out of a defender, and they force defenders to make mistakes. It's a nightmare for defenders. It's a great skill that Victor Osimhen has. Defenders don't like seeing people like that. They're like, what is wrong with you? Why do you just keep coming? Your team is winning by 2 goals. It's 85th minute, and you're still running at me. Why are you running at defenders? However, there's a key point for this Nigerian team that changed everything. It's not Victor Osimhen, it's not Lukman. They've been on the team forever, and Nigeria has been struggling. It was the addition of Akko Adams. Here's the balance between the midfield that was just nowhere, that didn't know what he was doing, and the attack. The addition of Akko Adams changed everything and seemed to create room for Lukman to be able to cause damage, Osimhen to be able to focus on space to attack. And good thing about Victor Osimhen that he's not over selfish. Strikers need to be selfish, so I don't have a problem with strikers being selfish. It's a respectability thing for people to preach about. Oh, strikers being too selfish. Get out here, that nonsense. But Victor Osimhen is great at also creating, because when a hurricane does it, play like that in between 9 and 10, we'll love it when a white guy is doing it. But when it's a black, oh my God, get out here, that nonsense. And when the Victor Osimhen moves into that creation mode, Akko Adams occupies the number 9 spot. So it's that balance that we haven't, Nigeria hasn't had in a long time, of having a striker who can drift wide and Osimhen drifts to the center. And Osimhen drifts wide and the striker drifts to the center. And Lukman just knows how to play, occupy the spaces behind both of them. That has just worked perfectly. Morocco, the pressure is there. And I think the players have finally adapted to playing under that pressure. Uh, it will be interesting. They'll miss Onai. That's a big miss for them. It's unfortunate Onai picked up that injury. Uh, but they've adapted well. I wonder if they will start Amrabat for this game to nullify some of Nigeria's attacking threats. They might. But other than that, I know Morocco just have to go at Nigeria. You can't say, oh, we're going to sit back. That's a death sentence. That is Nigeria's bread and butter. Please don't attack us. Because every time, it's not for a long time it's happened, but every time there's been a little pressure, you see 2, 3 crosses come at back to back at Nigeria. Who drops the ball? Nwabali. And people gloss over it because Nigeria played so well, which they did against Algeria. But he drops the ball at least twice. So who crosses a lot? Morocco, coming from the right, coming from the left. And you'll see something. But it's not a defeat, really, if Nigeria loses in the semifinal. It's not a disgrace. You overachieved. You have building blocks to go forward with. And you can phase out some of the older players and bring in the new guns. Start targeting 2030 and 2027 AFCON and 2030. So just allow Eric Shell do his thing. He's molding a team that will look great in the future. So whether I get my predictions correct, I believe it's an Egypt-Morocco final that we are looking at. Um, it doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. We're still going to have great football. That is a prediction that we are guaranteed to have. Final thing I will touch on is Algeria. Yes, the referee The referee was. I don't think it was. I think the referee was too emotional in the Algeria Nigeria game. That being said, that wasn't the reason why you lost to Nigeria when you got totally overplayed. Petkovic got his tactics wrong. His starting 11, everything was wrong from the start. But to chase the ref out of the stadium, man, yeah, come on, come on, people. It's AFCON. Now, why am I bringing up Algeria? I'm not interested in doing respectability. Oh man, how dare you embarrass Africa and that kind of nonsense. Nah, there will be sanctions. And once sanctions are placed on players, it affects you at the World Cup. This is why I keep bringing up you got to keep your head in the game. Because whatever, if you weren't going to the World Cup, then your sanctions affect your next competitive matches, which would have been AFCON qualifiers or something, except you play AFCON qualifiers before the World Cup. So I mean, is Algeria not in the same group with Argentina? Because I always believe Argentina gets favored. Well, thank you for doing the dirty job. For you, you've already helped them. Yeah, I can't with these people, man. I can't. You only had one job. Accept your loss. Go apologize to your fans. But yeah, you didn't get a penalty. Okay, fine, whatever. But that wasn't. There's no guarantee that if you were given a penalty, let's because I didn't even dwell on that penalty because their performance was so bad. I even forgot about the penalty issue. I completely forgot about it because I was like, this was terrible for a quarterfinal. All the other quarterfinal games, there was some fight. Cameroon, yes, I understood because they were a young team. The coach had barely been in the job before AFCON. So I wasn't mad at that. I understood if they ran out of gas by then. You, Algeria, you're going to the World Cup, and this is the performance that you put up. Then you lose woefully. That game could have been 6-0. I've never seen Nigeria outplay a strong Algeria, and it's not like 90s Algeria when they were on the down and Nigeria was on the rise. In Lagos, one will beat them 4-1. And they even scored in that game, by the way. So, hey, this was man. Algeria needs to apologize. The way they apologized to our man from DR Congo, this super fan, which was a good gesture, by the way. I'm not just about flogging people. It was nice for the Algerian Federation and the players to apologize and give him the fan who pays homage to Patrice Lumumba. You need to apologize to Morocco, apologize to CAF, apologize to African football lovers, and apologize to the Nigerians, and apologize to the referee, even if he didn't perform at his best, in my opinion, because the referee who handled Egypt Cote d'Ivoire was far superior, held back from giving yellow cards, even when they should have been bookings. He handled that game. Oh, that was a good referee, man. Solid refereeing. But you all, no. That was so disappointing from Algeria. So we're waiting to see CAF's sanctions. And yeah. So with that being said, looking forward to the semifinals. Hopefully, we know the refereeing has been solid in this tournament. For the most part, it has been solid. We've had good officiating. There's been some people trying to push some agendas out there. I don't buy that. They always do that with CAF, try to devalue African officiating. I'm like, have you seen La Liga referees? Have you seen English Premier League? Every week, people are always, was this what VAR? And they're debating for 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, okay, if your referees were that good, why are you all debating that? So get out here. Yeah, it doesn't mean we don't have room for improvement in African competitions, but I watch African football a lot, and for the most part, we use VAR correctly, and we are improving at a far better pace than a lot of these bigger, not bigger, but the typical competitions that people say are better. So, if you like what I said, or you have something to disagree with, let me know in the comment section. share with fellow lovers of African football. I will be back with an episode before the final. I'll do my usual short form videos during halftime and after the match. And yeah, I'll be on a show after AFCON, a Zambian show. I'll let you guys know. Once I finalize details, I'll post a short clip. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you for everyone who's been sharing. Thank you for the support and the love. Appreciate you all. And the likes too. It helps the algorithm. So thank you to each and every one of you. Appreciate the love. Keep loving African football. Keep supporting African football. Support our indigenous coaches. We need it. All righty.